So this here appears to be some kind of dried out moss. I don't know exactly what species it is or anything like that, but I can tell just by touching it. It's nice and dry. This would probably make good fire tinder. So I'm gonna grab a little bit. I mean, it almost feels like hair, but there's just way too much of it for it to be hair. That just wouldn't make sense. But we're gonna grab some of this because obviously this is another one of those things that would make a good emergency fuel for tinder that would take a spark, has a lot of surface area, and is able to pull a lot of air into it, so you'd be able to start a fire.
Or a fake mustache.
So it won't take too much. We'll take just enough to get our little experiment going here at the end of the trail, and
It's almost like Spanish moss or something, huh?
it could be. I'm just not super familiar with mosses. But it grows like a beard, so probably is. But yeah, we'll
Strange.
throw some of this in the pack and we'll see how it takes a spark here. Maybe when we get back to the house or at the end of the trail. So I have here a ferro rod and a handy sharp knife sharpener, which is nice for kicking spark off that rod. And I've seen a lot of people use these sparking rods in a very inefficient, incorrect manner. Since we're out here, we're going to try some of this tundra cotton real quick and see if it takes a spark. And we're also going to try some of this moss we picked up, kind of see how it takes a spark. Really not too interested in starting a major fire out here. And it's kind of damp. It's hard to promote on film just how damp it is. But so we're going to pull some of this cotton off of here. You see I'm getting it away from the stem. All right, I'm going to kind of break it up and separate it, aerate it, give it more surface area. Now, if I just strike off this black side, it's not going to spark as well. I have this side here that I've used before, and it sparks better. But I actually want to set my sparker on my material and push the spark into it, and you can see it took an ember there. But that stops the spark from jumping around. And if it takes an ember and glows for a second, chances are you can start a fire with it.
I can smell that.
So we can just... But you see how when I don't...
Oh yeah, there it goes.
And then you just want to...
There it goes. Wow, that one was really sparking.
Yeah. So this stuff would probably work really well. Ooh, look at that. These ferro rods keep... But you see how hard it is when you don't have it pinned down, whereas when you pin it down, it really... And I'd ideally have a lot more here. But yeah, I think I could start a fire with that. It's smoking.
Oh yeah, it's smoking.
Yeah.
Well...
But again, I'm not really trying to start a fire. I mean, this place has already had a forest fire. I don't want to give it another one. So we'll make sure all that's dead. Let's see if this stuff kind of takes a spark any better. And I would typically want to use a little more than what I used there as well. So I'll just use my rod to pin it down. And now you can peel some of the metal off your rod here and make a small pile of it there. And that's going to cause that kind of popping that we see. It's hard to get air through my mask here. There it goes.
There it is.
Flame.
Okay.
But, yep, if you were to foster that, take your time with it, keep air to it, put it underneath a little bundle, your twig bundle, you could definitely start a fire with that, so that's good news.
It did have a flame. I saw it. Oh, so did you rub it in the ground so it got some of this wood stuff on it?
I rubbed it in the ground to put it out.
Oh. I wasn't sure you're... Oh, there it goes. Yeah, that's on fire. Now, will this burn? I don't know if this stuff will burn. Oops, sorry. I just put it out.
Yeah. This is damp. That might be why it's not staying lit.
That's what I was thinking.
Because it is awfully wet out here. I mean, the ground is kind of wet. Everything's kind of wet.
It seemed like, though, it did seem like it was able to burn.
It was trying to catch, and then it would just burn out real quick.
Yeah.
But the other thing, part of the reason this wasn't burning too well either is it's very, very compact. If I was to sit here and separate the fibers, because I twisted it all up, if you remember, at the tree.
Mm-hmm.
You sit here and separate those fibers out. Kind of take and make a pile of. You see how on the ground it really sucks. So if you really get used to starting fires, yeah, that cotton's just a little too wet. Ooh, it's warm. But yeah, there you go. Now I did find that this ferrule rod worked better pressing out that way than kind of pulling back this way, so pressing the sparks off in a forward motion as opposed to dragging them off.
This is actually a...
Knife sharpener.
Okay.
Yeah, handy sharp knife sharpener. I picked this up at a gun show in Colorado. The guy was selling them there. They were like $25, I think. Worth every penny. Absolutely love it.